Well, hello, and welcome to the Trader Minute Academy. My name is Jeff Yady. Glad to be here with you today for our free training. And yes, this is a training, not a sales pitch. The only sales pitch you're going to hear from me is at the end. I'm going to say, hey, go sign up and join. But this is about getting out there, becoming a trader, getting involved in the markets, those things that you need to know, some of the tools that are best to use out there, and exactly how to get started, how to take that journey and how to progress on that journey to becoming a damn good trader. Now, my name, as I said, is Jeff Yady, and I am the lead trader on a website called TraderMinute.com. And on that site, we do live trading and training, right? So we kind of teach and show. And I've been doing that for, 5 years now. And we have a library of trainings and videos and live conversations that's a mile long there. And it's been a fun journey. And we have compiled some of the best of that and put it into the Academy as requested by many. And, excited to get this thing on the road here. Now, I've also traded other people's money, not just my own, but I have managed other people's money for many years. I do not do that anymore. I got out of that when we started Trader Minute, as from a legal standpoint, I can't do both. And so today, I trade my own money. I show what I'm trading on live video on our site, and I go out and I train and teach using the real-time market. It's one thing to look at a market 10 years ago and say, well, this will happen, and, when this happens, you do this, and you go about it this way. And it's a whole different thing to say, look, this is what's happening right now. How do we go about it? How do we deal with that? How do we set up a trade? How do we put real money into play and go out and actually make money given what's going on in the world today? Because the world is always changing, as you very well know. And that is a constant, and maybe the only constant when it comes to the market. Now, I'm not a big PowerPoint guy. You're not going to see a bunch of slides here from me. This is something where many years ago I asked our clients on Trader Minute, I said, hey, when I jump on video, do you want me to throw some PowerPoints together to look at it, or should we just go to the sites and go and actually do things? And it was overwhelming. Let's just go do things. And I haven't used a PowerPoint since, and I don't plan to. So let's roll up our sleeves and go and do it. Now, I'm going to assume that you've heard about trading and online trading, and that's how you got here, and you kind of know a little bit as far as, hey, you can go out there, you can buy and sell stocks or options or currency, a lot of different products, but you may be at that point where you haven't yet done it. You're not quite sure how to get involved. You're not quite sure how to get involved safely and without losing a bunch of money to learn the lessons that you need to learn. And so that's where we're going to start today. We're going to start from the beginnings. We're going to look at brokers. We're going to look at where to go to get research, both from a charting standpoint, a fundamental standpoint, a news standpoint, some of the best tools that are out there and things that I use. I'm going to show you things that I use out there in the market. I'm also going to show you how you can go out and virtual trade, how you can, get involved in trading without putting a single penny at risk. And you can start to get used to it, used to the field, decide if you like it. And if you do, it's a fantastic world. It's a lot of fun. And it's a way to do a lot of different things. And, people look at the market and, they think different things. But the reality when it comes to the market and trading in the market, you can do a whole variety of things. You want to be glued to your computer all day, every day, clicking buttons, trading here and there, you can do it. You can make 100 trades a day. If you want to look back, do some weekend research, then go back and say, hey, you know what, I'll put this into play, hold it for a few months, make a little money on your money. You can do that as well. There's no one right way. There's a million different ways to approach it. But the key is you got to understand what you're doing and a concept called risk versus reward. And no matter what you trade out there in the market, if you understand what's at risk, and what your potential reward is, you can make an informed decision. Because let's face it, the reality is much of it out there is still a lotto, right? You know, we can go out, we can talk about all the technicals and fundamentals and all the reasons why a stock's going to go up, and then tomorrow something crazy could happen, and that stock could be down 50%. Did anybody know anything ahead of the time? Yeah, sure, some people are going to come out and say they did, but really, no. And there is a lotto element to the market, but that's okay. That's where it provides opportunity, and that's where if we understand our risk and reward, we can go out and do something. Now, let's get started with brokers. Now, I use a broker here, and it's TD Ameritrade. Now, what's a broker? Well, think of a broker as a bank, right? You know, we all have bank accounts. You go to the bank, and you give them money, you give them your paycheck, and what do? They put it into checking account or a savings account, and then you have access to it, right? You can go online, you can log in, you can access it, you can transfer funds from a savings to a checking account or checking to savings. You can pay bills. You can allocate that money out the way that you would like to allocate that money. A trading account's the same thing. And in fact, most trading accounts these days have very similar functionalities to banks. And it's very easy to wire money or send a check or deposit money, withdraw money. I mean, you can withdraw money from these and boom, it's in your bank account within hours, if not faster. So, you know, when you think about a trading account, think about it as a bank, because that's what it's doing. It's holding your money, and it's giving you the control to allocate it as you would like. You want to go buy a certain stock? Boom. You have the ability to go do that. You want to go and trade an option? You have the ability to do it. You want your money back in your bank account today? You have the ability to do that. And so think of a broker as a bank account, and it'll simplify things in a big way. Now, the one that I use on Trader Minute and when I do my live trading, I use TD Ameritrade. Now, the broker industry over the last 10 years has gone through a lot of consolidation. And, you know, TD Ameritrade is a merger of multiple brokers. TD Waterhouse, and Ameritrade, they all merged together. They bought out Thinkorswim. When we look at other broker accounts, almost every broker account out there has merged with other brokers, and they've consolidated in a big way over the years. There's always a lot of, hey, you know what, is this broker better? Is that broker better? And I say, who cares? The bottom line is you find a broker that you're comfortable with and that's easy for you to use. They're all similar pricing. Yes, some, if you're going to go do options, you're going to do day trading, some are going to be better than others. And it's very easy to go out and research those. But the reality is you want to find something that's very easy to use, that's very customer service friendly, so that you can contact them, you can get information when you need it, and most importantly, a broker that doesn't go down. There is nothing worse than having a trade out there on the board, and you know that trade is moving, and you want to take it off because it's either going for you or against you, you need to do something with it, and you go to log into your broker, and your broker account is down. There's nothing worse. Why do I use TD Ameritrade? Because I've never had that experience. I've had that experience with many other brokers, and I've tried different brokers just to try them over the years. I've had, some brokers come to me and say, hey, try out ours, and I have never had an issue with it going down with TD Ameritrade. Is it the best with everything? No, it's not. But does it ever go down for me? No, it never has. And so I look at that as absolute number one. It's easy to open a broker account. You just come up, you click open a new account. It'll seem, anytime you open a broker account, it will seem like, their next step is to ask for a DNA sample, right? It will start to feel that way. They have simplified a lot of these applications, but they're pretty straightforward. They're pretty much the same application across the board, and they all have these kind of chat now. You can contact them, and they try to make it very easy for you these days. And that's been one of the benefits of all the merger in the industry, is that it is a lot easier. Now, that's the one that I use, and I use a platform in it called Thinkorswim. And, there are always training materials for their platforms, how to use it, where to click, how to actually trade, how to enter, how to exit. But most importantly, it also has a virtual trade function where I can actually go and pretend I'm doing the real thing in terms of all the button pushing without putting real money into work. And in fact, you can do that without ever even depositing any money with the broker. And that's what I encourage you to do. Go out, open a broker account. Do not give them any money. Just open the account. Go in, use the tools. Another broker that is that is common out there is Option House. And this is one that was bought out by E-Trade. And so it has merged here together with E-Trade. You've probably seen E-Trade commercials out there. And some of the Option House technology has been incorporated into E-Trade. But you can come in here, you can open an account, boom. It has the same stuff. It's going to be the same account. It's going to be, the same mechanics, similar to going and opening a bank account. You open a bank account with Wells Fargo, you open one with JP Morgan. Yeah, their site's going to be different. Their functionality is pretty much going to be the same. These are the two that I encourage new people to start with, to kind of look at. There are a lot more complicated broker platforms out there and more inexpensive broker platforms out there, but they start to get very complex. They start to get to the point where, there is so much information that it is absolute overload, and it's not a place I recommend for beginners to start. And, it's one where I've used a lot of other ones out there, but I still always go back to TD Ameritrade. Why? Because I know it's simple, but yet it has enough functionality for me to do what I need to do. You do want to make sure, when you are opening a broker account, that they are allowing you to explore. They are allowing you to do what to understand what's going on without you having to put any money into play. Now, for those that want a little bit more of an advanced one, if you come into something like Interactive Brokers, this is one where the technology is going to be more advanced. Some of the pricing is a lot cheaper as well, but it is a little more sophisticated. It's definitely not your starter broker, but it definitely has the ability to do anything that you want. You want to set up auto trading. You want to, set up, hey, when this happens, do this, and when that happens, do that. You can do all of that here with Interactive Brokers. But those are three that I've had good experiences with here over time. Now, when you get into a broker account, they're all going to have places to go out and research. To go out and explore stocks, to do your homework, and each broker platform has some of that. There's also a lot of that out there in the market. In fact, when you start to get into this financial world, you'll notice that the amount of information is just monumental. It's huge. There's so much information everywhere. You want streams of news feeds coming at you. You want, you want technical analysis. You want fundamental analysis. You want people's opinions. They all have it. They're all out there. And you know what? If you want to find one opinion on a certain stock, you can go and you can find it. But you need some key areas to be able to go out and do some homework without getting bombarded by opinions. A couple places that I recommend for new traders to start with. One is a site that I've been using for years, in fact, since they launched, and called FinViz, Financial Visualizations, and it's a free site. There is a little bit of a paid function that you can access, but I don't have it, and it is something where you can get plenty of information without it. It has all sorts of, it has screeners, maps, a place for you to come in and put a portfolio where you can store the stocks that you're watching so you have them at your fingertip. And so you can come in and do those types of things. In here, you can find the news on a stock. So, if you want to come in and let's just say you're interested in Apple, right? That's a very popular one out there. And you want to just kind of find out what's going on. They're going to give you a basic chart, right? I mean, you can adjust this chart to different time frames. They're going to give you some fundamental information here, where they're going to give you a PE ratio and book value and all these other types of things. And it looks like they tracked that I went to Interactive Brokers, so now I have an Interactive Brokers ad. But they're going to give you analyst upgrades and downgrades, and then they're going to give you the news down here below, so you can get a lot of information. And do you see any opinions anywhere? No. And that is one of the biggest things when it comes to the market. For any new trader or experienced trader, the first thing you've got to do is throw away the opinions. They're everywhere. They're bombarding. Get rid of them. Who cares? Opinions don't do a darn thing. There's always going to be somebody who knows more than you. There's always going to be somebody who knows less than you. There's always going to be someone who sounds smarter. There's always going to be someone who sounds dumber. Look for the facts. Find the facts. Get the facts that you want and trade based on the facts that you see, not some opinion from somebody else. Because if you're reliant on somebody else's opinion, you're going to constantly be jumping from opinion to opinion to opinion, and your trading is going to become very emotional, very emotional based here. FinViz, that's one. Another one, and this one's not a free site, but this is one of my favorites. It's called Y Charts, and you can get free access to it. But it's a very low cost site. But here you can come in and you can get that same information that we got on FinViz, only you can chart it. You can chart earnings. You can chart revenues. You can see if revenues are growing and what the valuations of various companies are. And in fact, in the trainings inside the TMAcademy, you will see me use Y charts quite a bit to graphically show how the fundamentals of certain companies are moving, and if that suggests that the stock is going to go higher or lower over time. So one of my favorite sites to do research on. I already mentioned your broker. You can do some research there, and then there's sites like Investors Business Daily, right? And you've probably heard of this, Investors Business Daily, and you can get a trial to it, and it's got a lot of investors.com is the site, but it's got a lot of different information, a little different news. But they have lists. They have, their top fundamental stocks, their top technical stocks. They do a good job of putting together pretty solid lists. Now, one of the things I say to new traders, come in here to IBD, get their top 50 stocks. Just get their top 50 stocks and make that your watch list. Make those the stocks that you trade. Look for areas or look for opportunities to go and to buy those stocks, and the chances of you making successful trades increases dramatically. Just absolutely increases dramatically. Now, if the whole market falls over and you're buying these stocks, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a rough time. But it's a way to kind of cut through a lot of the clutter and simplify things in a big way. Now, anytime you go out and trade, you want a chart. You need to see what the price action is. It's vital to understanding what's your risk and what's your reward potential, right? The one that you'll see me use a lot when it comes to the trainings is a website here called Stock Charts. It's a very simple site. In fact, when people find out that this is what I use mostly to chart, they look at me and they go, huh? Really? I mean, look, it's one screen. I don't have 6 screens, with different charts all going all over the place. It's one screen, And you know what? It's not even streaming. It's not even tick by tick changing. It's a very basic charting style and charting service. There are a few advanced, scans and different things like that I can do. But everything I could do here, I could do somewhere else and then more. Why do I like this? Because it is simple. Because it's not cluttered. Because it's not complicated. I don't need all that when it comes to charting. I don't need 18 different technical indicators in here. I just need to see what the price of the stock is doing and understand the few key technical indicators that are on my board. And so when you see some of the trainings that we do on charting and how to identify entry points and exit points on stocks and how to put together risk reward, you'll see me use stock charts a lot here for that. And there's a free version of it. There's a $10 a month version or something like that here as well. But this is the one I use, that I use the most here. There is another one that I've used a few times, and it is one where I think if I were starting brand new in the market and I had never charted before, I would probably learn this charting system, TradingView. And this is one that came online 3-4 years ago, and they have charts. You can do a lot of different things with them, and you can find out a lot of the data here on them. One of the things I caution you with using something like this is they bombard you with opinions. Taking a starter position. This is somebody's opinion that they posted. There's somebody else is talking about this stock and different ideas with it. I like Alcoa, but thinking of the long side. It's just opinion bombardment. And it's one of the last things you want when you're doing your homework. Because I promise you, for every smart trader out there that's bullish on the stock, there's another smart trader out there that's bearish. And by bullish, just think the stock's going to go up. By bearish, hey, they just think the stock is going to go down. But this is a pretty good one. And then another good one is your broker. Almost every broker will have charting software, charting service that's free to use. And you'll see in the training videos in the Academy that I use Thinkorswim's charts or TD Ameritrade's charts quite a bit when it comes to the short term. When it comes to, hey, what's happening today and breaking it down in a minute-by-minute fashion. When it comes to looking at things from an hourly, daily, weekly, monthly standpoint, that's where I tend to go out and use stock charts. Now, I'll warn you, there's some high-priced tools out there. There's some charting services out there. They'll charge you $5,000 to buy their package, their software package, and then they'll charge you $300 a month for the data. And it'll be really cool. It'll have a million different uses. It'll flash buy and sell for you, red light, green light. It'll do a whole lot of stuff. Be careful with those, especially starting out, right? Especially starting out. There's some decent ones out there. I've seen some people have success with them, but they're not needed to go out and be successful. They're not something that's standing in the way between you looking at the market and going, hey, some people are profiting. How do I get my cut? And you going out there and making your cut. That's not the difference. That's not what's going to make the difference. What's going to make the difference is how you assess your risk and how you assess your reward potential. And if you do that right, you will have success. And everything in the Academy is geared towards that and understanding risk reward. Now, if we're going to go trade in the markets, we better at least have some news, right? Understand a little bit about what's going on. There's a few news sources that I like to go to. I go to Bloomberg, very common one, has some headlines, right? I like to go to Market Watch. Nice. Okay, great. I'll go to CNBC.com, right? I'll even turn on the TV and watch CNBC or Fox Business. But I think people are surprised when they walk into my office and they see NCIS reruns on. There I have Netflix going and NCIS going as I'm trading. I don't have CNBC or Fox Business or any of those things, going on at the time. Why? Because I don't need them to assess risk reward. I need them to understand some of the major macro factors that are happening, sure. But a lot of times it's noise. It's a lot of noise. And you know what? For every piece of news, there's going to be a lot of smart people that think it's going to make something go up and a lot of smart people that think it's going to make something go down. And the reality is it's not something where, you're going to go and say, boom, all right, there's this news. That means that I should go and buy this. I mean, most of the time that's going to get you in trouble, especially when you watch, just turn on CNBC. You watch an analyst come on and talk about a stock. That stock's going to get a really brief pop, and it's not even going to be enough to make a lot of money on, and then it's going to drop right back to where it was before they talked. 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to see. So, chasing the TV, chasing the news typically doesn't do a whole lot of good. But finding out what are some of the overriding themes, I think is important. And for me, it absolutely interests me. It's something that, fascinates me. But I also have to, separate it from an actual trade and the actual risk-reward, component there. Now, I mentioned when you open a broker account that you want to have this ability to virtual trade or paper trade. Right? You want to be able to do the real thing without committing real money. And so I'm just going to log in to my Thinkorswim account. Now, this is tied to TD Ameritrade. Okay, so this is actually TD Ameritrade, but they bought out Thinkorswim, and you can go and use their trading platform. And I like their paper money platform. They call it paper money. Some will call it virtual trading. But you just click log in. And this is going to log me into mine. I haven't logged into this for a little while. It's something I normally use when I'm showing just how to virtual trade. But when I'm actually trading, we use the live account. So this will open. This will jog open here. But come into one of these, find one of these, and go out and use it. Go out, click the buttons. Who cares if it makes money or doesn't? Get used to the mechanics, because if you're used to the mechanics, there's nothing worse than sitting there and going, okay, I need to exit a trade. You have a really nice gain on a trade. You need to exit, and you don't know what buttons to push. Do I push this one? Do I do this one? Wait a minute. What's this really saying? Have I lost that money? Have I gained that money? Now you're on the phone talking to them, and meanwhile, your stock's trading, and they're going to evaporate your gains, right? And so understanding what buttons to click is why virtual trading or simulated trading is here. Now, there are some drawbacks, right? Drawback number one is most of these are on delayed data, right? So the data is 15 minutes delayed, right? It's not something that's real time in all situations, okay? Another downfall is let's face it. Are you treating virtual money the way you would treat real money? If you have a virtual loss of $1,000 and you go, I'll hold it, whatever, we'll see what happens. Is that the same way you'll treat real money? No, probably not, right? So you have to understand there are those dynamics. So the best part of these is really being able to come in and to get the mechanics down, to just understand, hey, these are the buttons that I need to push in order to go and make trades. And you'll see some trainings in the academy, on, some of the buttons to push, but most of the brokers, they have really good trainings on this type of thing. Now, if you don't want to open a broker account, you don't want to go through that process, but you still want a virtual trade, you can go to something like a CBOE, CBOE.com. And you can come up here into their tools and their resources, and they have, these trading tools, right? And you can come in and open up and let's see, it was here earlier. There we go. Let's make sure I'm clicking the right button here. But you can open up a virtual account and come in here and do some virtual trading and get kind of used to what's going on out there. So there are these options as well, but I strongly recommend the broker, just going to the broker, just doing the simple application and making that happen and saying, all right, do I like this or not? So getting started is really simple. You want to get started in trading, number one, pick a broker, open an account. That's it. Pick one, go for it. You can always change. You can always change 4 times, 5 times. I think I've had, upwards to a dozen broker accounts over my years of trading. Go out and make some trades. Who cares what you're trading? You don't know what that ticker is? You don't know what that stock is? Who cares? You know what? Go trade it, because you know what that's going to do? That's going to prompt your curiosity. Then you're going to go, oh, wait. FCX. What is that? Freeport McMoran. I wonder what they do. Oh, wow. They mine copper. I wonder where. Now your curiosity sparked. You start to learn about companies, and you can start to go do your homework as you kind of watch it move. Dabble. Go out, click buttons, dabble. You're not going to break anything. You're not going to hurt anything. You can always reset everything. And so that's the biggest thing to get started. And you're going to go, I don't know much. I don't know really what I'm doing. And that's fine. Because some of the people out there that know a ton, they're not exactly having success. What is key when it comes to the market is having an amount of knowledge to where you can execute and understand your risk reward, but not letting the noise cloud your execution. And there's a big difference. And as you go through the academy, as you see some of the trainings, you're going to see that as the focus. And, how to kind of take some of that noise out, how to simplify some of these concepts and to use them. Now, one of the best tools that exist out there for a trader, and it is something that I recommend for any new trader to have access to, and that is this tool called the Market Vibe. This was a tool that was designed by myself and one other many years ago when we were fund managing, and we used it for ourselves. And it basically took a whole bunch of different market metrics, aggregated them, and helped us understand when we should be playing the upside or when we should be playing for the market to go higher and when we should be playing for the market to go lower. And as we started Trader Minute and, I started doing live trading and training, I found that most of the market conversation wrapped around these principles. So we took them all, we wrapped them into an automated indicator that has been going now since 2015. This indicator we call the Market Vibe, right? Lovingly call it the Market Vibe. And basically what it does is it tells you whether the market is bullish, bearish, or neutral. So right down here, you'll see overall performance. You'll see bullish, bearish, and neutral. So every day there's a new reading. There's a new reading posted of what it is. Today, it's still a 0 and trending bearish. But over time, since 2015, in fact, if I scroll down, you'll see, it started here in September of 2015. When this indicator has been bullish, the price action afterwards, okay, we're not talking about the prior price action. We're talking about the predictive price action afterwards, has been total daily gains of 67%. Means the market's been going up. Average of 0.16 a day. If you're on the right side of the market, if you're buying stuff when the market vibe is bullish, what's your chance of success? It's significantly greater. Here, there are 311 days that are neutral. Let's face it, market isn't always going up or down. The market isn't always in a trend mode. Sometimes it's just neutral. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to sit there. It's going to spin there. It's just going to chop, and it's going to take a trader and just, baffle them. Well, there are 311 days that were neutral. Average daily gain, 0.02% negative. In fact, on those 311 days, the total gain was minus 6%. That's not much of a move in the market, right? 311 days to move 6%. It's a pretty small move. So basically saying, hey, you know what? On neutral days, maybe you have to adjust a strategy. Play for stocks not to move, right? Which is something you can do and something you'll learn inside the academy. And then on days that are bearish, only 133 of them since, 2015. But the total gain minus 30%, average daily gain minus 0.23%. So if you're betting on stocks to go down when the market vibe is bearish, your chance of success is increased dramatically. It's a very simple indicator. It's very effective. It's released once a day, and it allows traders to be able to take all the information, all of the news, all of the, what's going on with U.S. president in China, what's going on with Brexit, what's going on with Turkey and the lira, what's going on with India and Pakistan, what's going on with the Fed and the yield curve, and take all these concepts, boil them on down to, what are the institutions doing? What's the big money out there doing? Are they more likely to have to get out of the market or get into the market, or are they just sitting there? And that's what this indicator is boiled down to, and it becomes it has been a phenomenal tool for many traders. It is something that I insisted be added to this academy because I want new traders, aspiring traders, to have access to this. I want them to be able to see this every day, and I want them to be able to use this because it's going to give them an edge to their success that very few other tools out there in the market will allow. So go get started. Go pick a broker. Go paper trade. Go start watching the market vibe. Join us here at the TM Academy, right? It's very easy to join here. Very easy to join here at the Academy. You scroll on down. You click purchase now. You get access to over 50 hours of trainings organized so you can work at your own pace. You want information on options and trading options, building watch lists, timing trade entries, up or down, the risk reward. You'll also see everything about how I trade on the Trader Minute site with this 100K challenge, where I start with $3,000 and we look to grow that to $100,000 using a unique methodology. And we kind of roll that and do that, and you'll see that methodology. You'll be able to go out and apply that to your trading and see that. You'll also get access to all the other videos that are released and that are uploaded into the Academy, and we have plans to continue to upload the content that is delivered for $600 a month over at Trader Minute, and deliver those trainings here into the Academy for no additional cost. You'll have lifetime access. Everything that gets added, you will have 100% access here too. And you know what? Look, as far as anything goes out there in the market, there's a lot of stuff you can buy. There's a lot of stuff you can purchase, but you need something you can be happy with, and you need something that pays for itself tenfold. And so 3 days, no questions asked, money back guarantee. You're not happy, you send an email to support, and they take care of you. And, we wish you great success in your trading. The market's a heck of a lot of fun. And, you do hear horror stories out there about traders and traders getting involved and doing things that are just, whoa, how did you do that? With a little bit of knowledge, with a little bit of know-how, you can avoid that, move straight to becoming a damn good trader.